right, it's time to get back into another edition of our coaches interviews as we enter our preseason portion of the summer. Summer is almost over. This is now our 5th episode of our season previews, and today we are getting into it with Kindersley Klippers head coach and general manager Clayton Jardine. This is, of course, courtesy of our friends over at Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association. Clayton, we're entering preseason territory. Thanks for joining us today. First off, how was your summer?
Summer was great. Don't have any complaints. Stuck pretty close to home and just hung out with my 2 daughters and my wife. So no complaints on my end. It was a fun summer.
Yeah, you mentioned your daughters and your wife. I mean, obviously, about 8 months ago now, you were talking. You had your baby. Must be a pretty exciting first summer for her.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna plan another one. It's gonna be when we're not in the middle of hockey season, in the middle of trade deadlines. So. That's life though. Live and learn. And it's been a fun 8 months. And my daughter just turned 2 back in June as well. So yeah, she's flying around the house, and I just follow her around. So it's been fun.
That's all you can do at that age. That's awesome, and congratulations once again. And I'm glad you had a great summer. And let's talk about the hockey a little bit. Obviously, before we get into this upcoming season, let's look back to last season. Obviously. Pretty good season for the Clippers overall, getting back into the playoffs. An 8th place finish, a 23-26, 5-2 record, good for 3rd in the Nutrien division. A lot of excitement and positivity surrounding the team, especially in the community. When you think back, what were your biggest takeaways or lessons from last season with the team?
I think in the second half we really, learned how to win. We had some unfortunate conversation we were talking about in September and October, November, where if we had the culture set up well, that there was a lot of games within those first 3 months. I think we would have been on the right side of them, but we go into a third period and blow a 2-goal lead or a 1-goal lead, and that's something that the best teams in the league, they don't do. So overall we were above average season, I would say, just from where we were to where we went to. But in the same breath, it was funny because you talk about the start of the season, the middle of the season was really good, and unfortunately, including the playoffs, we lost 10 of our last 11 games. So, as a coach, you look at everything, you break everything down. Obviously, you have enough time to do it. So it's figuring out. How to plateau and be ready for the playoffs instead of just, limping into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I totally get that. Making the playoffs, though, and getting back to the dance, I mean, after several years of a kind of a playoff drought in Kindersley, provided a lot of excitement, I think, for the community. And so how have you seen that? Has that been reflected? I guess you saw it in the fan support down the stretch and I guess into the playoffs as well, but has that been reflected off the ice in the summer? Has there been, have you seen that kind of on the business side of things? Because I always say that a lot of people forget that there's the business side of junior hockey is almost as important as the on ice side of it. So, have you seen that in the offices at all or around the community this summer?
Yeah, and that's it's a part of my job that I really enjoy is going out and talking to the sponsors and doing the marketing side of things. And they've all been really positive conversations. And the nice thing for me is it really feels like this is home now. My wife feels the same way, so we're very thankful for that, and everyone has been very welcoming into Kindersley. So, yeah, going around talking to sponsors and the excitement for this year, and still having a lot of local presence on this team as well, really helps. So, a little bit of just having 4 or 5 local kids on the team, plus what we did last year and what we want to do this year. It's generating a lot of excitement. I think our home opener is going to be action-packed and a lot of cool events on the Goose Festival weekend. So, it's going to be a busy day. We got the parade on the Saturday after we come home from Battleford, and we play that home opener, and then we have a big dance to follow as well. And we renamed our rink here in Kindersley as well, so we're going to unveil that. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy Saturday, but an exciting Saturday.
A couple of things you accomplished with that. A perfect plug for your home opener, so that's great. Get your tickets now. 2, a great segue into my next question, which was about the local content of your team. Last year, obviously, you had some amazing leadership with Logan Linklater, Tylen Hilbig. You had a guy like Nathan DeGraves on the team, but you also had a lot of exciting youth on the roster as well. So what can fans look forward to as we approach training camp and obviously the kickoff of the regular season in that regard?
So it's exciting from the standpoint of, we got a lot of really good homegrown talent with we drafted Tristan Mitchell Meckholm from just outside of town, and obviously the Perlingers are on our team. We're bringing in Ethan Sotner, who's a local boy as well. But you mix in the 06s that we've recruited, Brock Evans 06 coming back, the Perlingers 07s, Tristan Mitchell Meckholm as an 08 if he finds a way onto our team. So and it's an exciting youth movement in Kindersley. So to see how those boys are going to do as young hockey players. But I think they're surrounded with players that we brought in and players that we're excited about, but also some of our returners as well, with Ethan Hilbig and Kyler Smith on the back end being leaders that have played here for a while. So they got a good mix of players that have played junior hockey for a while. Bring in Tristan Taylor and Dawson Carroll and Will Christian and Shane Tibbles that have played a lot of junior hockey, not with us. But so I think we've done a good job of bringing in a lot of exciting and young hockey players, but surrounding them with a lot of experienced and good hockey players as well.
Perfect. And there you go. You did it again. You accomplished a couple of things, because that was one of my next questions, was just going to be over the summer. Are there any names that you're excited that you were able to add? And I think you mentioned a few there, but you did mention another name, and let's get into him now. Brock Evans. He's a 2006 born Warman product. He's already got 95 regular season games, which I think is insane. The fact that he's been able to get that much experience already, and he's only entering his 18-year-old season. So can you talk about Brock for a minute and the impact that you expect him to have for the Clippers this season?
Yeah, and Brock, he's had an interesting junior career up to this point, and I give him a lot of credit. He didn't have the success he wanted as a 16-year-old, and the first meeting that him and I had, we sat down and I said, Brock, you got to trust me, because I played junior hockey as a 16-year-old as well, and I only played 38 games, and we had a really good team. We lost in the RBC final, so I had been in his shoes before. And it took him 10 to 12 games to get going. And you take away those first 12 games, he was close to a point a game. So overall, I think he had a really, really good season, and he's going to come back and build off of that. But also, you don't look at him as an 06, 18-year-old to be a leader, but you said it, with 95 games of experience, he's going to be leaned on a lot to be a leader of this hockey team.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff for sure. I'm sure fans in Kindersley are getting excited already just hearing that conversation. But obviously, with the momentum that you created from last season, again, getting back into the playoffs for the first time in several years there in Kindersley, you added a few vets over the summer. You mentioned Dawson Carroll being one of them. Was it important for you to kind of almost reload this team rather than thinking more of a rebuild? Or how did you approach your summer when it came to building this roster?
Yeah, I think with our older presence, we wanted to surround our young, skilled hockey players with those type of guys, and Dawson Carroll is exactly that. He's going to be a leader for us. He's going to bring the energy every single game and every single day, and that's something that I'm very excited for. I put a lot of stock into those types of human beings, so I'm very excited for Dawson to get here. Tristan Taylor played on an NA team that won a championship last year, so he brings that pedigree, playing in the BCHL as well. Will Christian with a lot of BCHL experience on top of that too, and Shane Tibbles, who's played for the Okotoks Oilers and the Whitecourt Wolverines. So there's those four guys we're very, very excited about, that are going to jump into this lineup and produce right away.
So goaltending for the Clippers has been fairly consistent for the last couple of years. We throw in a name like Cody Jamin. He's already had 2 seasons under his belt now. How nice is it, I guess, to have a 20-year-old like that coming back, who's very familiar with the community, very familiar with the league, and who else might be pushing him a little bit for some playing time this year?
Yeah, so we got Brett O'Halloran that's gonna push him, and he put up great numbers in the Calgary Flames organization for U18 AAA. So I think we got a great tandem. And the thing I'm excited about with Cody is that he knows, and he's going to act like this is my job and I'm going to run with it. He had his best friend with Logan Falk the last couple of years, sharing the net. And this year he can look at that net and say, this is going to be my net. And I know Brett's going to push him. But the expectation from everyone, including himself, is going to be, he's got to run with it. But Brett's going to be very capable to push him and play a lot of games as well. But that's the part I'm excited about for Cody, is that he can switch his mindset now to I got to be the man, and I want to be the man. So that's what we expect from Cody this year, and to be one of the best goalies in the league.
Yeah, and we've seen it time and time again that Cody Jamin's very capable of stealing hockey games, so that's exciting, definitely. Last season, we talked about it quite a bit on our shows, that the Clippers, they ran with a bit of a younger blue line. Obviously, you guys went and added Simon Diaz at the deadline last year. You had Nathan DeGraves, obviously, and he had some injury issues, but he was on the roster at the end of the year there for you. How excited and confident are you about bringing back the group of a guy like Ethan Hilbig, a Russ Demo, a Kyler Smith, and then injecting a player like Jackson Herchak into that mix? That must be pretty exciting as well for you.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the strength of our team this year, is that whole group that we have and returning. And was it ideal at the time that Nathan DeGraves didn't play for the first month and a half? It wasn't, but now that we're here, and Russ Demo, Jacob Dennis, even Kyler Smith and Ethan Hilbig, they got a lot more ice time than what they're expected to getting because Nathan was out. So it did work out nicely, just in the sense that now we can talk about it with those guys having a lot more experience than they could have had coming into the main camp this year. So yeah, I expect some big things from those guys. Adding Taven McCorster as well from Winnipeg, and he's got 2 years of experience, just like Brock Evans, played as a 16-year-old, played as a 17-year-old in the MJ. He's big, 6'3" right shot defenseman. So we know those boys don't grow on trees. So we're excited to add him to our decor that's already going to be very strong. So going to be some tough decisions day in and day out of who's going to be playing in what situations. But yeah, like you said, the last part of that is adding Jackson Herchak and Division I committed hockey players. So we're really excited about everyone on our back end and expect some big things from those 7 guys.
It sounds like a good problem to have, Clayton. Last one for you. Obviously, a championship is always the goal. So if I ask this question, and without prefacing that, every coach would say the same thing, that a championship is the goal. But what are a few milestones or targets that you have going into this season for the Clippers that you hope to accomplish, outside of, obviously, the championship one?
Well, the reason, I do it, the reason that, we're a developmental league and we're moving players on to the next level is to play Division I hockey. And I say it to everyone, it's in my blood. I played Division I hockey. My brother played Division I hockey. So I truly believe in it. And those are the best days for me, when players make those decisions of where they want to continue to play hockey. And so if we can have 3 or 4 Division I commitments this year, that would be wonderful. So that's definitely, a personal goal as a coach for me, is to help those players get those commitments. And then, after that, it's continuing to build on what we have here. Just building a really strong culture within this dressing room, within the community. And in turn, it helps us win hockey games. So, but yeah, correct. I'm not going to leave out that we want to win a championship this year. Obviously, that's the main goal, and that's something that we want to do. And I think between Tyler Traptow, Ryan Gibson, and Terrell Sweeney, we worked really hard at trying to achieve that goal this summer. And now we put in the work this winter to follow up with it.
You heard it here, Clippers fans. Clayton Jardine going for a championship. Clayton, what can fans do who want to get involved with this team this year? Where can they get involved? How can they get tickets? What's the best way to get a hold of the Clippers front office?
Yeah, just on our website or through our social medias. We do a really good job of keeping the fans kind of updated and excited about the season. Connor Tate does a really good job for us, but you head to our website and call our office. We do need some volunteers. But like I said, it's going to be a special weekend on home opening weekend, renaming the rink, having a big dance after. Obviously, the hockey game's the main focal point of the evening, but it's going to be an exciting September 21st in Kindersley. So we can't wait to get to that day.
And we will be covering it all. Clayton, thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck in training camps and as we head into the regular season here.
Thank you.